one. He gets two.
Beautiful front back right there. Up 3-1 Eastern. Looking good, feeling good. Life is good.
Hi guys, welcome back. It's the first game of the season. We got EMU versus Western Michigan, ESC regular season, League of Legends.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm Ari Simpson.
I'm Cameron O'Brien.
And I am Henry Perrin. And we have ourselves a very, very exciting first game. We got a big mix-up in the EMU team lineup. We have 2 new players and 2 other players that have been shuffled around. So if you were around last year, really only one thing is the same, and that is Lance, our GOAT, is still in mid lane. But real quick, do you two want to go into the schedule?
Yeah, so today we have versus Western Michigan League of Legends on February 3rd at 8 against Western for Valorant. February 4th at 8 p.m. against Ball State University League of Legends. February 5th at 8 against Ball State Valorant. And then February 9th at 8 against Buffalo for League of Legends.
A lot of back-to-back games going on there with the same teams, but our roster. We have Inferno in the top lane. That is a brand new player. Haven't seen him play myself, but very promising, very exciting. Drywall Boxer is in jungle. If you were around last year, Drywall was an excellent support, but has moved over to jungle, which is basically like a more aggressive, mean support. So, you know, I'm curious to see how the playstyle fits him. Lance, as stated before, is still mid lane and is still a massive playmaker, and Zero, who endured top lane last semester. It was not his role, but he was forced to play it. Now he can finally play his main role, ADC. I'm very excited to see how that goes. And Shambo will be his support, and the support ADC dynamic is always super critical, and so I'm looking forward to seeing how they operate, and Zero being all mysterious with no proper headshot in the lineup. But yeah, I'm excited to go into League of Legends. Do you guys have any questions about League of Legends? Anything in general you want to ask, or?
I guess I'm just wondering about the team. They haven't. This is their first year playing together with the two new players.
Yes. We have a new roster. Our roster last year was a significant improvement to the year before that. We used to be the bad team. Like, we lost to everyone, but we had players. We didn't really have the creme de la creme of players. I mean, at one point I was on the team. That is bad, and I was not the worst player on the team, which is no. At least I don't think I was the worst one. Maybe I was, but. Point is, it was very amateur hour, and last year was our first year having actual, like, really good players, and we made it pretty far. I can't remember the exact record, but we won some games. We didn't make it to the final tournament, but we were 1 game away from making it there. So this year, more refinement, a bit more, even though there's 2 brand new people and 2 roles have been shifted, over half the team is still used to playing together. So they have more time to know each other. And, overall, I'm excited to see it. You can see they're talking a bit to each other. They're prepping. They I call it the nerd camera. I mean, they're better at me than many things, so maybe I shouldn't be calling them nerds. But it's a compliment. Nerd is it a compliment these days?
I would say so. It can be.
Okay.
It can be, yeah. If you're nerdy about something cool, you know. Anyways, that pretty much covers the warm-up. Also, it's a new season in League of Legends, which means the rules of the game have changed, and everyone is still learning it, basically. Every year, this is a new thing with League, is they change the entire rule set. They change a lot of fundamentals. And the main goal of this year was to be more fast-paced, basically. The game used to take a minute to start, now it takes 30 seconds to start. A lot of changes were in the goal of that and giving more agency to specific players in specific roles. So it will be exciting to see how that plays out. But until then, we're just waiting for draft, and if you guys don't have anything else you want to say, then we can go to break.
I actually have a question.
Sure.
What's the goal of the game?
Okay, so basically the goal of the game is that 5 legends, but they're called champions, essentially. They appear on one side of the map against another 5. There's 3 lanes to go down, and each of those lanes has a tower. And those towers are basically like turrets. They're defense, right? And the goal of each team is to destroy the turrets to get inside the other team's base and destroy their really big turret, which is like a giant crystal. It's called the Nexus. And when the Nexus is destroyed, the game is over. To help the teams essentially get to a point where they're strong enough to infiltrate the enemy team's base, there's side objectives of the map. A dragon appears roughly every 5 minutes, and when you kill that dragon, it makes your entire team stronger. So the teams will be fighting each other over who gets to fight the dragon, essentially. Also, throughout the game, if you kill another player, you get a bunch of money, basically. And you use money to buy items, and items make you stronger. So essentially, it's a very snowball-y type game, where once one side gets a lead, it can be very, very difficult for a team to come back. But it also, that's when the most exciting upsets happen, basically. Games can be very short, and by very short, I mean like 15 to 20 minutes, so not that short compared to other video games. But I have seen some long wars of attrition that have gone on for like 55 minutes. So it's very volatile game, very explosive game. Yeah, basically, it's the kind of game that people get really mean about on the internet. Because if one person makes a mistake and gives gold to the wrong guy, then everyone else pays the price for it. So, but the most important thing about that, though, is that there's a comeback system where if you kill the guy that's doing really good and has all the money, you get a bigger chunk of money, basically. Okay. So the game has mechanics in play to bring people back. So if you see a guy who's like all smug in his finery and moving around, and then he gets shot down, then boom, that is a massive moment. So yeah, it's a very complex game. We don't have that many casters for it because you have to waste a lot of hours of your life to. When I started playing the game, there's a character that is a magic cat that sits on your shoulder and doesn't even do anything. I played that magic cat for like 20 hours.
Thinking it was doing something?
Yeah, just sitting on someone's shoulder, watching how they play, so I could be like, okay, so that goes over here. People hate that cat, by the way, so I was not super popular when I first arrived on the scene. And, but, yeah, there's a ton of stuff like that. So, yeah, it's a complex game. And I will do my best to translate it because, there's a lot of changes recently that I don't necessarily even fully understand myself, but not many people do. That's the exciting part of a new season, basically, is all the changes are in, and all the players are kind of figuring out what works and what doesn't. The kind of games we play at this time of year will be very different in November and December, right, when everyone's had a year to play with this rule set and we know what works, right? So that is very much a big part of it. So, yeah, anything else?
No.
All right. Then I think we will go to break, and when we're back, we will have the first draft. Okay, and we are back. And before we get into this draft and pick phase, I have to say there's a lot of zero hate going on in the chat. And I personally, I will not stand for it. I will not stand for it myself. Because you know what? Zero is going to get a chance playing his actual role. Can you think about just I want you to go back in time for a moment. You join a team and you have to play a role that you don't even play. And this man ranked it up. It wasn't his best role, but like he showed up, and now he gets the reward of actually playing a role he's comfortable with. So I'm actually very excited to see Zero play. Going to be playing Corky, very strong ADC right now. With it, actually, I believe. Actually, wait a minute. We don't have any info here. Are we on the left side or the right side production? We're on the right side. Okay, never mind. I lied. It is Poopy and Stinky. Corky is a bad champion. Something good to note here, though, is that Lance is on Aurora, and Aurora is one of his best champions. He is aggressively good at playing as her. So that is a very good thing. We have a very dive-heavy team from EMU so far, which basically means that rather than throwing rocks at each other, they're going to be jumping on people's heads and hitting them with sticks, basically.
Okay.
Yeah, where meanwhile Western is playing a much more, we're going to control the space, we don't want to get too close to you, we're going to take you out from afar type of team. Which is where Oriana and Nami come in. They're both basically two characters that excel at controlling space. You don't want to walk in front of them because if you do, you will die. But granted, if someone jumps on their head, they die. A very, very kind of explosive dynamic. So right now we are banning top lane champions, which I don't know why they're still banning top lane champions when Jax and Wukong have been picked. Top lane and jungle are probably. Oh yeah, that's right. It's not live draft. I'm sorry. Production is correcting me here. I'm liking the Aurelia and Gwen. So that probably means Gwen jungle. Okay. Not really a strong front line from Western here. They have some very champions that excel at controlling space, but they don't have anyone to really protect those champions. The worst Aurelia and Gwen can do is kind of just like say mean words and poke you with a stick. Like they're strong. They hurt, but they can't stop a Jax from jumping on you and dunking on you. And I'm really liking EMU's lineup. Nico's really strong right now. Yunara's really strong right now. And Lance has Aurora. So I'm very curious to see how it goes down, especially because Drywall Boxer is going to be playing a more aggressive character. I presume it has to be either Wukong or Jax. And I've only seen Drywall play supports, characters that don't fight, characters that don't dunk on people. So I am very curious to see what Drywall does here. But yeah, draft is locked in, and we will be in the game momentarily. Yeah, any questions, comments, just from what you see, or even of a chat? Like,
I've seen the chat. Someone says, I already know his sub is so tired of locking Braum every game so he can play
Goonslinger Lucian.
Yeah, what's that about?
So, Goonslinger Lucian. This is canon on stream now. Braum is a very strong character and basically he has a little thing where when he punches you, a little countdown appears over your head, and every time you get hit after that, it goes up and you get stunned, basically, when it's full. Lucian is a guy with two guns, so he hits you twice instead of once. So they're a very strong, aggressive combo with a lot of synergy with each other. Braum's not the most exciting to play. Braum is just a guy with a big shield, and he blocks stuff, and that's Braum. He blocks stuff, and I'm doing a great disservice. I love playing Braum, but he blocks stuff. That is his jam. But it sounds like we have game audio. It sounds like it is time to begin the first game of the first, well, not the first season, but the first game of the season.
Yes.
For League of Legends. Eastern Michigan versus Western Michigan University. Once we have some visuals and not just of the mad lads behind the computers. Any second now. Bada boom. All right, and we are in. One of the biggest changes to this season is very much in pace of the game. Normally, you have a minute before the game starts, but the game starts within 30 seconds, so there's no time to do any aggressive early plays. Everyone just kind of has to stay in their lane and stay safe. I really, as someone who plays both Aurora and Orianna, I find that matchup very stressful as Orianna. Aurora has a lot more mobility than you and is very hard to pin down. Jax versus Aurelia is a very classic top lane throwdown. Jax is very scary at an early level. So is Aurelia, but Jax himself has one of the most dangerous level 1s and level 2s in the game. Lance actually getting poked down relatively early on, and Nico Yunara in bot lane is a very aggressive lane. So going to basically just be doing some early trades here. People are playing it relatively safe at the moment. Inferno is threatening, but just kind of saying, get off my lawn. Not really doing anything too substantial at the moment. Now, something of importance in this new season is because the game starts early, jungle gets a head start. And because jungle gets a head start, that means that jungle can do a gank or, in other words, an ambush much earlier than usual. And teams need to look out. Now, Shambu going to get the hit on the Corki, but because Corki is so strong early, actually comes out of that more injured than he does. Yunara is not a particularly strong character in the early game. She needs to get later on in the game in order to be threatening, and Corki is a bit more of a bully. He is solid at all points of the game, but in the early game, it is very hard to match him. Going to be having some very even trading going on in mid lane. The Orianna doesn't have that much mana right now, where I think Lance is doing much better at managing mana. So the Orianna is almost out of resources and is going to be forced out relatively soon, unless... actually, no, the Gwen isn't going to be coming down for the gank. The Gwen is on the bot side map. Oh, wait, there was a kill, I think. I just saw Aurelia's corpse, but I don't see it on the scoreboard. I guess we're not quite up to date there yet. Yeah, no. Okay. Well then, very strong showing from early Inferno. Okay, and Gwen backs away, so any danger that was in bot lane is gone, and no early ganks from either side just yet. This bot lane is in trouble, I'd say. Being behind against Jax in top lane is a bad position for Western, though. That said, Wukong is here, and I don't think Aurelia knows. Yeah, it's going to be a little bit too late for the retreat. That said, Aurelia does have a giant wave here, and Jax can't afford to ignore all these minions, because all these minions are little bits of gold. He gets 14 every time he kills one, and if he ignores too many of those, he will fall behind, even with his strong lead. So not quite the time to do a gank just yet. Bot lane is doing relatively well, considering how aggressive Corki can be. Inferno is freezing the lane here. He basically doesn't want Aurelia to go anywhere. He's not fighting her, but he is essentially holding her hostage, because if she goes away, she'll fall behind. And so this is a very bad position for her to be in, because she's so far up that an ambush would be disastrous. And oh, that is Lance the stun, going to get a relatively even trade, but yeah, no, I think the Aurelia is actually going to get away with it. All right. First dragon will be up relatively soon, and level 6 is going to be hit in mid lane, and that is when the first gank can really take off. Lance hits level 6 first, which means he has a massive advantage. Orianna not too far behind, and now we are going to rotate to that first dragon. Looks like the Orianna's not following, and everyone on Eastern is rotating to the dragon. I don't agree with this choice from Western. Maybe they know they're outmatched at this first dragon and don't want to spend all their resources on it, but they're just giving this away for free. That is shocking, especially with top lane behind. You need some kind of early game momentum swing, because if things keep going at the pace it's going now, it's not going to work out for you. And completely uncontested. No one is even in the same zip code as this dragon right now. Yeah, free dragon for red team. All right, for Eastern, we take it. And that's also really dangerous because, as I said, Yunara is a weak character early on and becomes extremely powerful in the late game. And right now, Yunara is not really a friend. Here's an early gank onto Valeon using both ultimates, getting the flash. That's basically as good as getting a kill because you take away a core resource. Flash is only available every 3 minutes, basically. And all right, but Gwen's got to try to do something, but because for Gwen is a bit behind on level, doesn't have level 6. If Gwen has level 6 there, Gwen can shoot the needles at Lance and possibly pin him down. It's still a questionable fight, but Gwen can't do anything without her needles. She's a very ult-reliant champion.
Is this start out as a 1v1 type of thing, or you just kind of move around and...
So basically, yeah. Initially, you stay matched up against your opponent, right?
Okay.
Like Aurelia versus Jax, what we're seeing right here, that will be static, right? Everyone's basically just trying to get ahead of the other person, and then later in the game, in roughly about 5 minutes or so, the teams are going to start moving around the map together. And that's where the dynamics are going to be really important, right? Because, say, bot is doing really well, right? When bot comes to the middle, then suddenly middle has a much bigger problem than the previous 1v1. What makes this game so volatile is that anyone can kind of show up at any point and pivot the game, right? As it stands right now, Western is playing a bit too safe for their current position and for their team comp. Their team comp really needs to be getting some early game pressure, and they're not doing that. And what that means is that once the teams come together, Eastern is going to be way scarier than Western. Especially because Western doesn't have any form of crowd control, which is basically the, hey, stand still button, right? Like, you know, you can punch a guy, but what's better than punching a guy is tying his shoes together so he trips, right? That's crowd control, essentially. And there's not... Oriana and Nami are good crowd control. They're good deterrents, but they basically rely on one ability to do that, and they're both behind, and Oriana is getting ganked. Doesn't have her get off me ability, and as I said, has no protection. And will die here, leaving mid lane wide open. She's not going to be back for another 20 seconds, and even then she has to walk back to the lane. Very strong opening from Eastern so far.
Yeah, it looks like Eastern's pretty much tearing Western apart.
Yeah, and right there, that was Nico's ultimate. Something to... Now, wait a minute. This could be big. Corki is still stronger than Yunara at level 6, is going to get a kill, and Corki being on the board is very strong. But Gwen is here, but not going to be able to get anything because Nico can just hide under the tower. But yes, so far, this is a steamroll. That was very good for Western, though. Western needed that. That said, we're securing more objectives on the map. And the more objectives you get, the better at taking towers you become, essentially. So...
And
yeah.
that's the dragons and the
The
statues.
Yeah, the statues are the towers.
Okay, the towers.
Yeah, the void grubs are like little parasites that eat the towers, essentially. If you usually, because the void grubs are on the opposite side of the map to the dragon, if you can't get the dragon, you try to get the void grubs.
Okay.
Eastern has gotten both the dragon and the void grubs, which means they had time to take one and take a casual stroll all the way around and take the other. So there's not a lot of map pressure from Western right now.
Yeah. And are they defending their tower any? I noticed that they're missing... Yeah.
Yeah, so basically that's the other benefit to killing someone, right? When you kill someone, they are, you know, you get money for it, right? But they're also dead for a set amount of time, which means they can't defend anything.
Oh, okay. That's why a bar goes away.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, essentially. And the more progress you make on the tower, the more money you get. Like everything in this world, it's all about money at the end of the day. It doesn't matter how good you are. If you have more money than the other guy, you hit harder than the other guy, you know? And it takes a lot of skill to upset that balance. That said, yeah, now Yunara is getting stronger. Basically, something else that's important to note is you see those numbers next to them, right? The closer that number is to 18, the stronger they are, right? So he's 9, she's 9. They're at the same level, right?
Is 18 the max?
18 is the max, except for in top lane where it's 20.
Okay.
But that's a detail schmetail type thing. The main thing to note, though, is that once they hit 6, that's a deep gank. Not even safe under their own tower. Once they hit 6, they get something called their ultimate ability, which is basically an ability they can use that they only get like every 2 minutes, basically. But it's devastating. So if you see like a big slam down, that's like Nico's ultimate. She raises you up to the ground, slams you down, right? The ultimate abilities really can determine the outcome of a fight. And because Eastern has all their ultimate abilities, they can contest this dragon, and all Western can do is kind of say hi, like, no, don't do that. And now they're forced to retreat. So, very dominant performance from Eastern so far. And on the map right now, that's the other thing. Because Eastern is emitting so much pressure right now, there's not a lot of comeback potential for Western. Western's only real shot at a comeback right now, there's no dragon to take, and they can't take the grubs either right now. So their only shot of a potential is to catch someone with their pants down and kill them and get a big bonus. But
do you think that's possible?
It would take multiple teammates coordinating down on one person. Right now, it's possible on the bottom side. They've done it on the bottom side, right? But it hasn't been enough so far. One kill doesn't get you that much.
Zero dying 1v1. Who's
Zero
shocked?
is unfortunately, yeah, Zero's the only one who's died so far on our side. Oh,
the haters are happy.
The haters are feasting tonight, and so is our viewership. The more they hate, actually, but we won't go into the details on that. Please stop hating. Anyways, yeah, no, I think in a solo 1v1 situation, as you were asking, it was a 1v1 before, right?
Yeah.
I don't think it's possible for Western to win in this situation. When I go into a sparring match with my friend and he kills me twice, I'm like, all right, it's over. I just turn the game off at that point. There's nothing I can do. And right now, Eastern is doing what I said Western has to do. They're committing multiple resources to just dunking on one person. You're not safe under your tower when there's free blokes shanking you there. You know, you're just not. And now the tower falls because there's no one there to defend it. This is the consequence of being too passive. You know, it's like you like.
What, do you think they were being passive, or is this just how they play?
It's hard to say, right? Like, because we've only seen this first game of them so far. But I will say, when a mistake happens early, the top lane died early, right? When a mistake happens early, your first instinct is, oh, I need to play it super safe now, right? And so you don't take that many risks. That is weakness. People smell that in League of Legends. And when you are determined the weak link on the team because maybe you died once, everyone will commit to you, essentially. So what you need to do is you need to take a risk. You need to have basically the game sense and knowledge to know when that risk is worth taking. And that's how you come back. That is why I am a bronze player, because when I fall behind, I'm like, no one get mad at me. Please leave me be. That just gets you killed again like that, right? Because the enemy team notices that. And it's like, hey, if we commit all of our resources on that, and that's our element of League of Legends. It's a mental battle, right? If you keep killing the same guy over and over again, he's going to get discouraged. And that's going to spread to the rest of the team. So mental and composure are a massive part of what makes someone good at this game, right?
Okay.
And that's one reason I really like Lance as a player, is that he, even when we're behind, he's making those plays. He's making those ambitious plays. And I have to give shouts to this Corki. The little guy in the airplane, he's at full health right now, and he is making plays. He is doing his absolute best to deal some damage in bot lane, and is succeeding, but it's not enough at this stage of the game. Without the support of either the mid lane or the jungle, no matter how good that Corgi is, it's not going to be enough, essentially. Right now, Eastern is a snowball, and as you can see, Drywall, our jungler, he can move wherever he wants. He's uncontested. Now he's going to take another objective. And this is where the character choices really start to bite them. I really love Gwen. She's one of my favorite champions, but she has no tools to help the team catch up here. She can potentially kill one person with the help of someone else, but Gwen is a character that really needs to be ahead to make an impact, and Gwen is not ahead right now. So, yeah, no, that's some rough stuff right there. And Rift Herald goes down. This is a very funny objective. When you basically get a giant crab that you can drive like a truck, and you can drive it into the towers and knock them over. You didn't used to be able to drive it, and they added it because it was funny, and it's stuck around ever since. Western's trying to get some control right now. They know Dragon will be up soon, and there it is. There's that beautiful lad as I speak. So they know Dragon will be up soon, and they tried to get some vision. They're basically putting down cameras around the map so they can actually see what's going on there so they can contest it. But once again, it's too little too late. They should have been doing this at the first Dragon, if possible,
Right.
because now Drywall, like, look at how much damage he just did to that Nami, and he took no damage. He literally didn't, he wasn't hurt. Also, Shambo is being super BM right now and spamming mean emojis at them, basically. That is another reason why League of Legends is a mental
Zero
battle.
going for the dragon.
Yes, they have to. If they let this dragon go, they're losing a turret for it right now. If they let this dragon go, the game is it's even more over for them than it is right now. So that's why Gwen is going to try to give her life. Mistimes the smite, and it's going to be disastrous. Gives her life for nothing. And now Eastern is just going absolutely ravenous. There's blood in the water, and there is nowhere to swim. You are in the Pacific Ocean. You're done. And during this time, all their people on the bot side, Inferno's on the top side, just smashing the tower with his stick and getting away with it. There's no one to stop him. So, yeah, no, this is a rough situation. They are behind. They've killed one person. It was 0. But, yeah, see, she's trying to go in. Mistimes the smite. Smite is a skill you have specifically designed to kill dragons. Mistimed it by 1 second and paid the price. And that is why League of Legends is such an explosive game. Because if you mistime something by 1 second, you just screwed over your entire... Yep, exactly. So, yeah. And this is the other part of League that is kind of torture, is you can be in a losing state and still need to wait another 6 or so minutes to actually lose, you know?
Yeah.
Because they still got to knock down all those towers. And in competitive, normally in an online game, you can forfeit around this point. And a lot of people do forfeit. To be blunt, a lot of people forfeit when they don't need to forfeit, when there is still a chance to come back into the game. In the comp scene, you don't forfeit. So, all right, but we do have a fight here, and for the first time, Eastern is outnumbered. Gwen did use her ultimate, but Nami ultimate misses, doesn't hit anybody. That's not good, but there's still potential here. Going to catch out Drywall, but Drywall going absolutely nuts with a Wukong spin. And but Gambit doesn't pay off. They almost had him, but almost is not
Triple
enough.
kill.
Yeah. And remember what I said about they got like another 6 minutes left till they lose? It might be sooner than that with a play like that. Which, to be fair, that's the exact kind of play I said they need to go for, right? They need to be taking those risks. And the idea was there. The execution was not. If the Nami wave hit, it would have been enough. If the Gwen ult hit more, it would have been enough. But neither of those things happened, so it was not enough. Yeah, and right now, they are basically stuck on their side of the map. They can't even have ambitions about walking over on the eastern side of the map. Meanwhile, we can even walk under their towers. Normally, when you walk under the tower, it shoots you. We don't care. We don't care about getting shot right now. It doesn't matter. Yeah, and Baron Nash.
Look at Inferno go.
Yeah, Inferno's going nuts. I'm very impressed by this early showing. It was Inferno that kicked off the momentum, but wait, Inferno is surrounded in a 3v1. This is a chance to really show off. 4 versus 1 on Inferno. Gets the kill on the Gwen. The Nami ult misses, and now backup's coming. Inferno just diving into the fray, not afraid of anything, and the cavalry is here. Inferno survives a 4 versus 1
he's barely
ambush.
getting...
Yeah. Yeah, that was a 4 versus 1 ambush. That is how volatile League can be. But not to underplay Inferno. That was.
I feel like you didn't even get hurt that much.
Yeah,
from
that's what
that.
I was saying. Like, he held his own for the most part.
Yeah, yeah. No, I think he was going to kill them either way.
Yeah.
And we just got Baron Nashor, which basically doubles with speed you take towers, and that's going to be the game. There's nothing that can be done here. The Oriana's not back for another 30 seconds. They got other people coming back, but Eastern's going to do the smart thing. But normally, what you do here is you just go in and you attack. But if you really want to win, why do that? They're losing anyways, right? So take the slow game, bleed them out, you know, because when you get reckless and you go in like that, you know, that's what happens. But this is what they need to do. This 4 versus 1 play, they needed to do that like 6 minutes ago, and they didn't do it. So, like, now they pay the price. And, yeah, look at that. Inferno not even down. Inferno is almost at full health by the end of that
The way he
fight.
survived, like, that's
Yeah.
insane. They should at least killed someone.
Well, and that's the thing. Jax has an ability, when he does, like, this big twirl, he blocks all attacks. And they should have known that when they were ambushing him, but they didn't respect it. And so, but again, I don't blame them, because what can they do? They're in their own base. This is home invasion. This is like my worst nightmare.
Yeah, and they're all dying.
Yeah. No. Yeah, a double for both sides of the team, and that's it. Game's over. There's nothing they can do to defend their base. And Eastern taking a clean first game, 23-1. 23-2 now, but only because they intentionally died to the tower. So, 1 kill against 0, and then 1 kill for the tower.
Yes.
That is rough. That's got to be a hit to the morale. Yeah, wow.
That was a good first game of the season.
Yeah, that was a
Yeah,
pretty
Inferno
good.
was on a killing spree.
Yeah.
Inferno on fire.
Inferno was an actual Inferno.
Yeah.
Like, wildfire out there. Yeah, no.
Someone said, all right, hang it up, Western. Wow.
Oh, the bad man. Well, look, we're professionals, but the chatters, they're gonna chat. They're gonna hate. If at least they're not hating my boy Zero right now. They
I
will
mean,
later.
we just took a win, so how much?
Yeah.
How much can I say?
Yeah, exactly. You can't hate without the evidence. And yeah, that was a good win. And right there, Eastern was doing basically. They weren't doing any real exceptional strategy. They just played aggressive early, and they shut down Western at the point of the game where Western was the strongest. At that point, winning was inevitable, essentially, because when you have a team, and I would say that the team comp from Eastern was just better because Western didn't have crowd control. They had Oriana and they had Nami, and those, in some circumstances, those two can be enough, right? Especially in the right hands. But against that team specifically, right, it's like, oh, look, you shoot off one guy. Now Inferno jumps on your head, right?
Right.
You know, they really needed like a juggernaut or something, someone who could take a beating and buy time, basically. And they didn't have that. So they're going to have to go back to the drawing board. And, yeah, but I don't know. What do you guys think of what you saw?
I thought it was
Low-key-
great.
oh. Yeah,
Eastern.
Loki, I feel like they needed an Inferno. Like, they needed something, like you said. Yeah, for us to only have 2 deaths, and
one of the deaths was just bad manners.
Yeah,
Like,
it was just
Yeah.
they were already winning.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, oh, I'm
What?
dying. Oh, no. What will we do? Yeah, no. Yeah.
So during the draft, can the other team kind of prepare by seeing what the team,
Yes.
what they pick?
Normally,
So do you think Western was prepared for that?
I
in a
don't
way?
think so. Draft, I will say, in the college scene, draft can be a bit harder because we're not famous players, right? Normally, in like a really high-level competitive play, you know, it's like, oh, there's a character called Bard. Don't give that guy Bard. You know, there. So normally, research is a big part of it, but at this level of play, it's, hey, let's play what we're comfortable with, and maybe research what they have, like, you know, 50 minutes before. That's what we do sometimes, right? But I think that when you do actually prepare for that, right? Because the thing is that our draft was basically a counter to their draft, whether that was intentional or not, right? And that's what wins games. Some games are, you know, you don't want to be cynical. You don't want to be like, oh, this game's already decided from the draft, you know, but that's how it is.
Yeah.
You kind of can tell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like, yeah, but very strong first showing. We'll have a game 2, but until then, I think we'll go to break. folks, and we are back this time with a live draft rather than the post-draft. So, Eastern is going to be blue side, and Western will be red side. Now, both games, Eastern has banned Darius and Anivia, so I presume that those are comfort picks for Western players, since neither of those champions are necessarily too strong right now. Anivia is pretty solid at the moment, but I haven't been seeing much of Darius in the pro scene. Going to be, and meanwhile, Western is banning a lot of engaged characters that start fights, basically, which to me implies that they might be playing this one a bit passive again. Oh, Rise. Okay, Rise is a character that is always very strong, but is extra strong right now because of recent changes to the game, basically. There used to be, he buys this item that boosts his mana, and that makes him very strong. And he used to be limited to just buying one of those. Mm-hmm. Now he's not limited to just buying one of those. He can buy as many of those as he wants.
So he can get even more
as long as they're
strong.
different items. So essentially, he's very strong right now. And something I should note is that this is a fearless draft, which means that the same characters cannot be picked in the game, essentially.
Okay.
So there will be no Corki this game, for instance, because Corki was played last game.
No Inferno.
Well, Inferno can't play Jax, right? Because Jax was the guy he was playing his last game. So that is the way Fearless Draft works, essentially. Way coming out from Western, a more on-command control. Oh, I like the Vi pick. Either of you ever see the show Arcane? Like, okay, Vi's one of the main characters. They made a show based off of this game, and Vi is one of the main characters in that, essentially. Vi is she's a bit more of a tank. She can take a beating, and she can lock someone down and just hold them in place. That is very much what Western was lacking in their composition before. And the other character they picked, Hui, the Argus guy, essentially, he is similar to Orianna in the sense that he controls a lot of space, but he doesn't need his ultimate to do that. He can do that with much more basic abilities. So Malphite coming out from Eastern, though. Malphite is absurdly strong right now in this meta. And he's just a giant rock guy. And, everyone has a really cool ultimate ability where, they do something really flashy. Malphite just kind of throws himself at you with very little fanfare, and it really hurts because he's a giant rock man, and he's one of my favorites for that reason. So very strong draft from Eastern. Kaisa, consistently strong character, especially in a meta with where a lot of crit items are strong. Also similar to Yunara in the last game, a ADC that gets stronger the longer the game goes on. So if Western doesn't put on enough pressure early, which, grant, they are more equipped to do now in their current comp, then there's going to be a problem, essentially. Set versus Malphite. That is an interesting one. Malphite is a very war of attrition type character, and Set doesn't really care about that. Set just heals himself, essentially. So he can, and he's a juggernaut himself. So much more durable team from Western so far in this draft. We have 2 more bans on each side.
So you mentioned that there was a show based off the game.
Yes.
Is the show, is it good?
That's a complicated question.
Okay.
The first season is universally loved. The second season,
Not so well.
I don't like the second season myself. But yeah, it takes place in one of the regions, Zon and Piltover, essentially. It was a Netflix show, and it's basically steampunk versus rich people versus poor people, story type thing.
Okay.
And yeah, the first season is very good. I mean, it took them like 10 years to make it. And then the second season they made in like 2 years. So, yeah. But anyways, going back to the actual game itself, though, more bans coming out from Western, banning even more engage options, which I don't fault them for, but it's a little late for, because Malphite is kind of all the engage you need. I like the Lulu ban. That covers a bit more options there. And Eastern banning Lucian, who is a very strong early game presence. Once again, the best way to stop Eastern, Rise, character that gets strong later in the game. Malphite, not relevant until he gets his ultimate at level 6. Kaisa, solid early, but really wants to get to the late game. So right now, I like this draft from Western because they are playing so much more aggressive. And Smolder, the little Lion King brat himself, he is... I hate Smolder. I'm gonna be. I'm gonna get rid of my professionalism. I hate Smolder because Smolder is a time bomb. You know how I keep saying, "Oh, that character's strong late in the game." Smolder's like the extreme example of that, where it's like, "Oh, it's the end of the game. Press a button and that guy dies." You know, like so. I like that from them because it gives them a little bit of a backup if the early game doesn't go as well as they hope.
Yeah.
Leona is a very good engage support, similar to with both Leona and Malphite. If the objective is to kill Smolder, we have the tools for it. But that's so it really is going to come down to what support Western picks. Honestly, I'm surprised they banned Lulu because Lulu is very good with Smolder because Lulu is like she just protects basically. If you have a character that has a time bomb, Lulu is the best character for it. And Graves as jungle. Okay, this is Silas? No way you're picking. Oh, is it Hui as support? Oh, I don't like the composition as much of it Hui as support.
So.
Okay, fresh. Okay.
So
They heard me.
So from both sides, who's their most anticipated player? What would you say? Like
I would
the
say
best player from each side.
On Eastern, it is definitely Lance who will be playing as Rise, the purple guy, essentially. Purple guy, yeah. For the if you know, you know. And I would say the Smolder is the most dangerous player, considering the Corki last game was making the most aggressive plays, was doing their absolute best to bring the game back. Hello, sir. Our support is unhinged, clearly. Anyways, considering that Smolder is such a win condition, if you have a strong Smolder, it doesn't matter that the other guy's strong, right? So considering that was the player that gave the best performance the last game, and they're playing a character that can win the game by themselves, that's the character to watch out for, and that's the character I think Eastern needs to shut down, essentially.
So is a lot of Western's game going to be protecting Smolder?
Basically, it's a very much like a get down Mr. President type comp.
Okay.
And what I like about that is they have the means to do that. You know, before, they could shoot a tidal wave, which missed every time they threw it out, and they had like a little black hole effect, and that was it. That was all they had to protect themselves. Now they get a big muscle lady that punches you and locks onto you and pins you down. Now they got a big muscle man that punches you and locks onto you and pins you down. And they have Fresh, who is a fan favorite. He's not always the strongest. He's a little outclassed sometimes, but he is very much a jack of all trades, and that includes protection. So Smolder is very secure on this team, but that said, Malphite just skips for it. Doesn't. Malphite can ignore the person pinning him down because all he needs is 1 second. Leona also can instantly engage onto someone. Doesn't even need to be next to them to do it. So it's going to be a very volatile game, basically. If Smolder gets shut down early, I'm going to say that's curtains, right? But if they can protect Smolder for a decent chunk of time, then we'll have a match. So, yeah.
So based on last game, do you think that they'll be able to do it? Like Western's capable of
Well,
it?
the one kill was in bot lane, which is where Smolder presides. So I think if there's any shot at it, then yeah, that'll be it. Not to discredit their other players. I just think win condition-wise on the team, based off of the draft they have done, this is the very all-in on Smolder type of team. Yeah, I like Set is good, but he's a big muscle man. He doesn't have that many ways to get close. He kind of has to walk up to you to punch you. He can't throw anything at you. Vi is much more mobile. And when I say she locks onto, I mean she locks. Once she has clicked on you, her character will follow you to the ends of the earth. So yeah, I think they have the tools. I just want to see for performance, right? Because last game was a total blow up, and you can't blame that on the comp, right? The comp just wasn't there because they didn't have any control, essentially. Now they've gone all in on control. They have a game plan. They have a clear game plan. There wasn't really a clear game plan last time. But what the thing is, though, is even if Smolder does well, if they can't control the map or at least neutralize the map, if Eastern gets all the dragons and the grubs and all the objectives again, it probably won't matter because those objectives accelerate the game, right?
So you think Eastern still kind of has an advantage
I
because
do.
of their aggressiveness in the beginning?
Yes.
Okay.
Their ability to take objectives essentially cements. Well, again, it accelerates the game, right? I told you these games can go up to 50 minutes. The reason that didn't happen last game is because Eastern took every single objective, which basically winds down the clock, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so if Western wants any shot at this, they're going to have to take some objectives. And thankfully, well, Vi's not very good at taking objectives by herself. But again, she's good at pinning people down, but her damage isn't that high, right? And usually it's for more explosive characters that take objectives quickly. So it'll be interesting to see.
So the game could go either way.
It could go either
Yeah.
way. There is hope. But yeah, we're just getting into the game right now. I can hear it right now. They're just doing. They messed up draft. Okay. No, I know. They banned Malphite? Okay. I'm sorry. Production is talking to my ear, so we're going to have a little bit of a moment.
0 on Kaiza, he might not sandbag. Can you translate
0 on Kaisa. Kaisa's the lady he's playing as, and Kaisa is a very strong character. So that's the other thing is even though Smolder's a time bomb, Kaisa's also kind of a time bomb. She's just less of an extreme time bomb, right? So
So do they have to protect her?
not as much. Kaisa is a bit more independent than Smolder, right? She has mobility, right? Smolder does have some mobility, but it's very defensive, reactive mobility. Kaisa can just kind of dash in whenever she wants. Yeah, I don't know. It's going to be... They do want to protect her, but it's not as much the objective because they can initiate. They can be more aggressive more, right? If they're aggressive enough, the enemy team will basically be too weak to attack Kaisa, right? It's kind of like offense is the best defense type situation, and that is very much the composition we have. So, yeah, they're redoing the draft. They banned Malphite, so they couldn't physically pick the character because that's how the game's programmed. So it's going to take a little bit of a moment, but yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
So let's talk about your time on esports.
Oh, God.
Can you tell the chat?
All right, well, this used to be a very small program, right? Like
Yeah.
a very small program. Like,
It-
this broadcast room did not exist. We were filming this in the fitness center closet. Like, I am not joking.
Didn't you have to pick up almost everything and move it here from your
pretty much. It
other
was a
facility?
big move, but it was
Yeah.
a great move. And during that time, that's actually how I came to this crew. Is I decided, I'll sign up for the league team. Why not? It'll be a fun distraction for a night. And then I made a team, which was not a good sign.
Oh, you made the team?
I made the backup team, which meant I was still responsible for doing scrims, still responsible for doing that. And again, I have to emphasize, I'm a bronze player. At the time I was silver. I've gotten worse since then. But I was on the team for a bit, and I don't even think I was the worst player, and I don't say that as like a way to like, no, I was awful. I'm just saying bronze was the average. We had a few really good players, and then bronze. And yeah, we've improved a lot since then. 4 of the players on our team are master rank, which is, basically, you think that'd be the highest, it's the 3rd highest. It goes master, grandmaster, and challenger. And challenger players are the ones that get invited to the fancy tournaments,
Yes.
But master is very respectable. Everyone wants to be a master player. Not me, I couldn't handle the pressure, but that's how. And we have master players here, so
Yes.
you can't talk trash on the masters. I'm sorry.
No.
At least to a bronze troglodyte like myself. Sounds like though we have audio from the game, so the game is starting. And we will be in momentarily. Here we go. And it's not Graves in the jungle, it's Graves top lane, which really changes the dynamic of a team. Early invade happening. Wait a minute, this isn't supposed to happen anymore. If a match is supposed to start earlier, Graves can't kite Set, but Set comes out ahead. Oh, he's chasing it. Yeah, I don't know what that was because, as I mentioned, Set heals on his own. Now, he's pushed out of lane, so Actually, it's going to even out. Never mind. I'm going nuts. Okay. So far, the early game is going to be pretty neutral. If anything explosive will happen, as you can see, it's going to be in top lane because a lot of these characters rely on multiple abilities. Well, I mean, that goes for the whole cast, but the point is, Smolder can't do anything at level 1, right? Kai'Sa especially can't do anything at level 1. Leona needs to be at least level 2. Graves Inferno in the top lane has a level advantage because he pushed Set out early. I don't know if I agree with him pushing Set out early there because like Set has such good sustain. Set can just sit there and heal, and Graves does it. So I don't know. I don't know if I fully agree with that choice from Western, but so far the lane isn't going to be going well for Set because Graves is ranged, Set is not. Set needs you to be kind of he needs you in like arm grabby reach essentially to kill you. And Graves has a shotgun. So, you know, that tends to not really work out too well. Actually going to get an early back from Inferno. A little bit of a scuffle in bot lane, but nothing too serious, nothing too committal, just kind of some formality poking going on, essentially. Malphite jungle is a very... I play Malphite jungle for fun sometimes. Like, I don't see Malphite jungle ever in the comp scene that often. He has the tools for it. Oh, is it broken this patch? Okay, forgive it. Again, bronze brain talking. But, so Malphite jungle is actually a very strong pick right now, which makes sense because he does have the fundamental tools for it. It just hasn't been strong that often. But Malphite's just kind of broken this patch in general. So, like, he's getting picked in almost every single game. So having Malphite on your team, not a bad play. Never a bad thing. In fact, they probably should have banned Malphite. Oh, the Malphite taunt before the back. So it's something to note. This game has very high production values. This game is like, they put millions of dollars into this thing. Malphite comes from an era where that was not true. Malphite is one of the oldest characters in the game, and it shows. His artwork was made in MS Paint, and I am not joking. So that is another reason why Malphite is very much a treasure to me, is because he's a relic of the older age of the game, and he's still around. But forget about all that. We got a good hook. But again, Smolder can't really do much to follow up off of a hook. Smolder is a very sit and wait type character, so it doesn't really matter if a play is made there, especially because Leona is such an aggressive get off me person. And this set just had a total loss, like pushing the lane in, but like Inferno's chilling. In fact, Inferno is more than chilling. Inferno, like
he's having his way once again.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. That said, well, Eastern's playing a bit more respectful this time, but there's also no real objectives up right now. The objectives are coming up, though, and the level 6 fight for the first dragon is going to be very important and should be happening soon. And Malphite has one of the most devastating ultimates in the game. It is absurdly good for how simple it is. So I think in a Malphite versus Vi situation, it's going to heavily favor Eastern, which, again, it's really about surviving the early game for Western.
So would you say Western has more of a backbone this time around?
They definitely have more of a backbone. They have more reason to play passive, but as I said before, if they can't control the map, then it's not going to mean anything. And the Vi is on the right side of the map this time, is going to be in position. Everyone is kind of moving in. Yes, this is exactly what Western needs to do. They need to get this first dragon, because if they get this first dragon, they can stall out the game longer, essentially. And if they stall it long enough, they get Smolder up, they win.
Yeah, didn't you say Smolder like activates at level 6?
Not quite. Malphite activates at level 6. Smolder doesn't really activate till around level 12-ish. Okay. Depending on how well he's doing. But wait a minute. They didn't go for Dragon at all. They instead are weak. That is a very smart move. They're weakening Eastern's bot lane, essentially. Oh, but wait! Malphite's there with a level 6, and suddenly Oh, the whole fight has turned around. It is a ballroom blitz, and even though Lance is going to go down, there's
2 kills.
no way to take this. There's no way to take the dragon now. Yeah, Vi can't do anything into Malphite. That's like punching an actual rock. I don't know if you've ever tried it, but it really hurts. But that's it. It's looking like more of a neutral standoff now because Vi isn't going to be comfortable taking the dragon, but it looks like Drywall's not comfortable taking the dragon either. So in a way, even though they didn't get the dragon, they did delay it a little bit, which again gives them more time, which is exactly what they're looking for. And even though the Set is losing, Set is an excellent, he's good at something called split pushing, which is basically, hey, while you schmucks are over there trying to take this dragon, I'm taking the tower, right? Set is excellent at doing that. It's very much a role that's good for comebacks, right? It's like you don't have to do well in lane to split push. It's a good backup plan for any person in top lane, essentially. So Western is very much playing just as patient, essentially. But the thing is, because, as you said, they have more of a backbone now, they actually can play patiently. They can wait, right? They're not going for the risky plays right now because they don't have to. If the game moves at a completely neutral pace, Western will eventually become stronger. So don't take the risks. You have the protection. You have the get down Mr. President squad. So Eastern is now in the position, and even though, going to get a bit of aggression, this is exactly the range you don't want to be against Set. That said, Set, very much a short trade type person. He doesn't like long fights. He likes to punch you, get in, and get out. Drywall is going to be coming in for supports just in time for the Void Grubs, which will, again, help Eastern accelerate the game. And looks like he's going to be completely uncontested. The mid lane is roaming to bot side, and Vi is on the opposite side of the jungle. So these Void Grubs are as good as Eastern's, and once again, that is going to help them take the jungle. They're putting down Vision, which is good for the dragon, and it looks like Vi is going to finally be able to get that dragon. Has the support of bot lane, rotating up, as you can see on the mini-map in the bottom right corner. And they are in that dragon pit, and trading Grubs for Dragon is a much more standard play, right? It's like, okay, Eastern didn't get both this time, and getting Dragon for Western is a much better for them than if Western got Grubs and Eastern got Dragon, if that makes sense. Partially because Dragon is a much better in the late game objective. Grubs literally make you take the towers faster, and in late game, you already take towers so fast, it doesn't matter as much. That said, taking towers obviously gives you control of the lane, because if they don't have a tower, it's not as safe for them in the lane. So that leads to getting more dragons later on. So even though Western did succeed in staving Eastern off of the dragon, it doesn't necessarily ensure victory for them just yet. Graves top is an interesting choice. I'm not sure if it's meta at the moment, but it's not an unheard of choice, of course. But normally Graves is seen as a jungler. He tends to be much better for that role in general, just by the way his kit works. But so far it's working because Set can't really do anything to force a fight with Graves. And trying to pin down Lance, but Lance is savvy. Lance knows it's happening. Neutral state in the map right now. Not much to really take, so not that many risks to take. But wait a minute, there's a play right there. Going to slam the Graves into the tower, but doesn't have enough to follow it up. If the minion wave was there, it might have been possible. Does get the flash from Graves, which is excellent. Graves is a character with very minimal mobility, so if he gets caught out again, he will die. And if he goes down and Set starts getting ahead, if you have a Set that's ahead and a Smolder that's ahead, that is the game. Even if you have a Set that's ahead and a Smolder that's neutral. All right, looks like we're trying to get a little bit of an ambush set up on the set. The wave is going to go into the tower. When the minions go under the tower, they start taking the fire from the tower. So this gives an ample opportunity to make a play like this, where you just kind of harass him, and he's not even safe in his own house. Set is a very strong character at low HP, but it's not enough. The Malphite ultimate's guys to the cure, and Drywall!
More minions.
Oh no, Drywall gets killed by the aftermath from the tower shots. And wait a minute, our bot lane falls apart right there. That's an advantage for the Smolder. That said, Lance himself, not only is he one of the strongest players on our team, if not the strongest, but he's playing a really strong character who is also a time bomb. There's a lot of time bombs in this game, essentially. And Rise can't carry the game entirely by himself, but he can come pretty close. And again, this is a very neutral state. This is a much better game overall, much better showing from Western. And yeah, we'll have objectives coming up once again soon. And once they're up, that will really give us just an outlook of how things are going to go. Because right now, Eastern is ahead in gold. We have a little bit more money than them, but pace-wise, it's about even.
Are we still seeing a lot of patience out of Western side?
Yes, absolutely. They're not really there, but they're taking more initiative, right? They got a kill in bot lane. Oh, but wait a minute. Bot lane's coming back with revenge. This is exactly what I was talking about in the last game, right?
Right.
It's like if you go behind, you need to make the risks. If you don't take the risks... Oh, wait, Smolder. What are you doing, Smolder? Smolder, that's not worth it, buddy. And just like that, the advantage is gone. I don't know. He must have smelled something delicious or something. I don't know what would make you walk into that neighborhood at that time of day, but, you know, I'm not the one playing it. That is especially with Malphite. Because Malphite is similar to Vi, point and click, you're dead type character. And Vi's going to chase for Malphite, but is a level behind. And, I mean, there's not really much to gain from fighting here. So we're just going to back off. They're basically fighting for vision control of this dragon, and the dragon is up. So this is more of a fake retreat. He's baiting them, essentially. He's trying to force them to stop him from returning to base. Even though if he returned to base, it'd be a great thing for them. That said, Western has priority in this fight, and there is no Malphite ultimate to contest him. Malphite's ultimate is what makes him a champion. And without that, and their jungler's not here, this dragon is as good as Western's. And that's 2 dragons for Western. And wait a minute, Drywall caught out. Another kill for Smolder, another dragon for Western. And yeah, we're going to get a bit of progress on top and mid, but that is not a worthy trade. And Lance is being enclosed on. Predator's coming, he's going to get, there's Vavai, lock onto you and punch you down. And it's going to take a really goated move for Lance to get out of it. He does have Rise's teleport, and he gets out. Okay. Clean moves from Lance.
So is it still anybody's game?
Right now, I'd say it's in Western's favor, actually. Right now, Eastern has more resources than Western right now, but having 2 dragons on Smolder is huge. Now...
Oh, and they're 11.
Yeah, well, now if Eastern wants to get all the dragons now, they have to kill 4 on their own. That's the 6th dragon. But you know, previously they got all the they had full dragon control at 3 dragons, right? At the 3rd dragon. So this is going much better for Western. I think Eastern might have slept on them a little bit just based off of how free that first game was. And Lance out of position, but it's a bait to bring in the Malphite ultimate, and Malphite again. Very good at taking a beating, and Graves is going to come in, and this is exactly, they're going to turn it around now, and now mid lane is exposed. Now, Vasset is up above, looking for an entrance, but it's feeling a little awkward about it. Isn't quite able to come in and save his friends, and though Set is here, it's going to be enough to take out Drywall, but Drywall has done his part. Drywall started the fight, and so if Drywall dies now, it's not that big of a deal. There's not really an important objective to take right now, so... Sacrificing Drywall to kill the entire enemy team is a sacrifice worth making, and they're going to get the mid lane tower. And a big reason why that's important is mid lane tower, that's nearby Dragon, that's nearby Grubs, that's going to let Eastern be pushed up further into the map now that that tower's not there anymore. And so Eastern's going to have more control, which is exactly what they need at this moment, because that Smolder is getting there. That Smolder is going to be a real threat very soon.
So Western's going to have to buckle down.
Yes, absolutely.
Are there a lot of times like that where sacrifices are needed?
Absolutely. Yeah, like, for instance, I said that Malphite is a character where his ultimate makes him a champion, right?
Yeah.
But once Malphite uses his ultimate, you can get rid of him after that. You know,
Yeah.
if anyone's going to go down after that, it should be Malphite. So, and as you can see, Malphite's alive again for this next objective. This is called Rift Herald. This replaces for grubs. It's basically for fun. You get in a car, you commit Grand Theft Auto vehicular side, and it's a very fun objective. And
So
Western's not going to be able to contest it. What's that?
who's that in the corner getting tore up? They just died.
Oh, okay.
The Rift Herald?
Yeah, Rift Herald. Rift Herald basically is like a big crab guy, and when you kill him, you get to summon him whenever you want, basically. And you drive him like a car and crash him into towers, basically, and he knocks him over. He's basically a free tower take. Now, going to have a bit of a sloppy initiation from Western, and that's the thing in League of Legends. You can get a lead, everything can be soundly possible, but execution is everything. That said, Eastern dropping the ball a bit. We are forced to run away from this fight. Western making the needed sacrifice. Yeah, this is exactly what they need to do, and they're looking pretty comfy. Now, during this time, Lance is split pushing. He is getting pressure, so there is value being here, and as long as Eastern is able to protect the middle tower, which it looks like they'll be able to, Western won't get too much from that fight. It looks disastrous for Eastern, but again, a big part of getting a kill is going... Oh, yeah, I don't agree with that. Leona engage at all. A big part of getting the kill is getting them off the map, but if there's nothing to get them off the map for, you basically just made some money, which, again, really it is what makes a difference, but it's about how big the gap is, right? It's not going to be enough money to win you the game single-handedly. So, okay, we got Smolder versus Kaisa in mid lane. Kaisa is ahead one level, and the rest of the team is kind of scouting out, trying to get vision to make sure no sneaky ambushes happen. Something you should know is that the teams can't see the entire map, basically. When no one is in a part of a map, it is completely dark, and they can't see. When no one on your team is in that part of a map, it is dark for your team. You can't see it.
So that's when the ambushes come.
Exactly. And there's an item called wards, which are basically like little security cameras you put down. And one of the jobs of support is to get rid of wards and put down wards, which is why support is so pivotal to the team, because knowledge is power, and knowledge lets you take fights like this, where you know that no help is coming. Yeah, going to pin down the Vine, and with the Vine gone, a lot of backbone is gone. Now, this set is a menace, and this is where I think picking Graves is a bit of a doozy, because later on, Set does kind of dunk on him. Now, the Set is going to fall, and Easter is coming ahead, making some very aggressive plays. And there's what I'm talking about with Kaisa, where she can just kind of dash in, and now Eastern is in a position to rip open the enemy base, and the game has basically been turned around. This is a very bad tower to lose. If you lose this tower, you've basically given up almost all map control. Now,
And they lost it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's one thing if both teams lose the tower, because, then it's a bit more of a push and pull. But Eastern hasn't even lost their first tower yet. So this is an instance where towers really make it. Because look, this fight took place where the original tower was, right?
Yeah.
This fight would not have been possible if that tower was still there. Eastern still has their equivalent to that tower, right? So this is going to give Eastern a lot more control to get back into the game and to get dragons. The Set is very dangerous, and the Smolder is also extremely dangerous. But Eastern is making the plays. Zero, all you haters in the chat, has 7 kills in 1 death. That is a scary Kaisa.
They said Zero with only 1 kill.
No, Zero has 7 kills in 1 death.
Oh, yeah, it's
Yeah.
delayed.
Yeah. That must have been earlier in the chat.
This is Zero dead again, huh?
Yeah. So we have a fight going on at Baron, and we caught out there fresh. He died for nothing, unfortunately. It's a cruel thing to say, but it has to be said. And if we get Baron, then Smolder, the Dragons, none of that's going to matter. because the Baron will help us push into the mid, which we've already taken so much of, and Rift Herald is here to basically distract them even further, give us even more control to take more objectives. Here crashes into the tower, takes out half of it in one hit. The set does a beautiful engage, going to pin down Lance, and Lance is gone. With Lance gone, that's not going to be good. We just have a Leona and a Malphite, two very durable people, but two people that also don't hit very hard. And not liking the spacing from Eastern, got a little bit over-aggressive, forced to use a Malphite ultimate, not to start a fight, but to escape a fight. And yeah, Vi going to pin down. Thankfully, Malphite and Leon returning the fight around now, because here comes the Graves. Let's see that Graves top pick pay off. We got a teleport coming in. The set will be here momentarily. He's here. This is just a fight you back off from. It's like, hey, bro, it's just a joke moment. Like, don't push this. Okay, we're back in neutral. Dragon should be up soon. This is a much more chaotic game. Right now, the Fresh is just securing vision, putting a camera down on that guy, Baron. Again, Baron wins games, essentially. So if one team gets that, it won't be as big a deal if Western gets Baron because they're so far behind on towers. But if Baron is taken when you have no towers up, that is very hard to come back from. So it doesn't matter how many dragons you have, Baron swings it. And catching the set out of position, that's one of the most pivotal players on the team. Now, once again, set final low HP, but nah, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter right there. And with that, we have map control. Without set, Smolder is much more vulnerable and can cause much less damage. And we will be doing precisely that. We will be taking Baron while also distracting them in bot lane with the Graves, doing a distraction play so the entire team can't be there, because if Wei leaves, bot lane is exposed. All right, we got a fight going on, but we have an ambush ready to basically zone them off. There's no way for them to get onto this Baron. Vi would have to aggressively give her life, and she's not ready for it. Yeah, there goes Baron. All right, Western. It's time to show us what you can do. Can you survive this Baron push? Because statistically, not looking so good.
Do you think they can survive?
I don't think so.
Yeah. It's if the set gets caught out again, then that's curtains. Zero is the biggest threat on our team right now. The Graves is paying off too. But Zero has only died once and killed 7 people. That's so much money in Kai'Sa's pocket. And Kai'Sa is a big spender. Kai'Sa pays off almost as much as Smolder does and is many items ahead of the Smolder. So honestly, I actually don't think the Smolder is much of a threat at this point anymore.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
There was a lot of talk about the Smolder at the beginning.
But
You were banking on him.
The more I look at who has what items, the score, not feeling so hot about that Smolder anymore. Which means that, yeah, that's probably curtains. Smolder can still pop off, absolutely. But it is getting more and more statistically unlikely, especially because these fights are starting with Smolder not even there. Like, every second spent in a fight with Smolder is a bad second, is a second you don't want to be spending. But Smolder's not even here for most of the fights, so it doesn't even matter that they have him. Any power he has isn't enough. And yep, set's going to go in, give absolutely everything they can, and it's not going to be enough. Now that said, Eastern, forget what that said. That said to that said, Eastern's got to dunk on them, and with the Baron Nashor buff, they're going to seal out this game. We worried for nothing, as they are the victors.
So would you say Western should have utilized their characters better?
Yes, I think that they had a lead in the mid-game, and they didn't push it hard enough. They needed to find a way. They needed to commit all their resources. So many of their resources were used on Drywall for Malphite, which, as I said, all Malphite has to do is hit one button, and then his job's done, right? They really needed to focus their resources on shutting down Zero. They needed to be Zero haters. Because they weren't Zero haters, Zero was able to just go completely off the wall and be an even bigger threat than the Smolder.
Oh, cheeseburger.
And the burger eat?
The victory burger.
Unhinged.
Well deserved, well deserved.
And that is
I think one
Pocket
bite.
Burger.
How long that's
you
been
know
in
what?
there.
I got respect for a man with a pocket burger.
Yeah.
Yeah, never know when you're hungry. These people are hungry. Yeah, but that's going to be the game. Very decisive win from Eastern. Western made a much better showing in that second game, but it was not enough.
Do you think Eastern was a little bit shocked at first? Do you think they weren't
Yeah,
prepared?
I think they weren't prepared for that game to go quite that way. The first draft was so bad, it was basically a free game, and I think that Eastern had better control of the map for most of the time, so I think that they were the better team overall, but I think they did underestimate them because that second draft was much more solid. That was a much better composition, but it ultimately did not pay off. So, yeah, that's going to be our game today. I believe we have a schedule to go into to talk about what the next games will be.
All right, so on February 2nd, we are playing. That's
today.
That's today. Today we
I've made that mistake many times.
played against Western League of Legends. February 3rd, we are against Western for Valorant at 8 o'clock.
The run back
Yes.
in a different game, in a different field.
February 4th against Ball State University with League of Legends, which I think is an anticipated going to
Ball
be
State
tricky
is a
game.
very skilled team and has been
Yeah.
an issue in the past,
Okay.
so I am eager to see how that goes.
Yep, and then February 5th against Ball State for Valorant, and February 9th we are against Buffalo University for League of Legends.
All right. That's pretty much it for today's game. I think we were expecting to win this one. The first game was a total blowout, but the second game, that's a little bit more of what we want to see, a little bit more of a back and forward, but ultimately snowballed back into Eastern's favor. Be sure to come in next Wednesday for the stream against Ball State. We'll be here, and farewell.
Bye.